In this example, we're going to identify the critical path. So I'm going to go and identify the critical path by doing forward scanning first. Then we do backward scanning, and then we identify the activities that have the same EST and the same LST. Now, just forgive me, this video is probably going to go a little bit longer than the sort of the 2 or 3 minute mark. So if you can be patient, just watch the whole video all the way through, because I'm going to do basically both procedures, forward and backward scanning, and also identifying the critical path all in the one video. So first thing we'll do is I'm going to draw in the dominoes. Okay, so try and draw them fairly large, but where possible. Okay. And as long as you can read the numbers easily. It's a little bit tricky sometimes on a whiteboard to do this, but just bear with me. Okay, I think that's all the dominoes drawn in there. Yep. Okay, so from the start we have 0. Okay, it's always starting off from 0, and it also ends with 0, of course, when we go and do the backward scanning. Oh, we need one more domino here. Okay, now activity A is the first activity, so that's going to be 5. And let's just use 5 minutes. Doesn't matter, I mean hours, minutes. This activity doesn't specify the unit of time. So moving on, so from this vertex, it branches out into two paths. Okay, so activity B, 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay, so that's that. And then we've got activity E as well, that branches off from activity A. 5 plus 4, we've got 9. Okay. Now I'm going to branch, just going to do some of the easier dominoes first, and then we'll worry about the vertices where two paths intersect and come together. So from activity E, we can go and complete activity I. So we've got 9 plus 4, that'll be 13. After activity I, we can do activity K. So 13 plus 5 is 18. Okay, now where the intersections are, I'm not going to do those yet. I'm going to do all fill in all the dominoes that are just sequential paths, singular paths. Okay, so after activity B, so we've got 11, we've spent 11 minutes there, 11 plus 8, so after completing activity C, we'll have 19 minutes there. Okay, so now at this point, the remaining 3 dominoes, so 1, 2, 3, are actually intersection points or vertices where two paths basically join or come together, and we have to pick or choose the largest or the lengthiest path, and whatever the lengthiest path is, we'll write the number there. Okay, so after activity F, okay, so from activity E, so we're up to 9 plus 3, that gives us 12, okay? And after activity B, now the dummy activity is worth 0, okay? So 11 plus 0 gives us 11, but 9 plus 3 gives us 12. So 12 is obviously the larger number, so we put 12 there, okay? Right, now moving on then to this vertex here, we can get to this vertex via L and also via G, but let's work out which one's the larger of the two. So 12 plus 5, that's 17. We got 18 plus 5, which is 23. So clearly 23 is the larger of the two. So we'll put 23 there as well. Okay, we've got one more domino, which is the finish domino, or the end one. So we've got 19 plus 7 is 26. 23 plus 9 is 32. So 32 being the largest of the two. So this project, whatever this project is, takes 32 minutes, okay, from start to finish. Okay, now we're going to do the backward scanning, okay, to determine what what the latest start time, the LST, is of each of the activities. And then finally, we're going to identify which of these activities have basically no float time, no leeway. There's the critical activities that must start and end at a particular time. Okay, so going backwards, we're just going to reverse the procedure now. So 32 32 minus 7 is 25. Okay. And also, so 32 minus 9 is 23. Okay. Now again, just be careful with any paths where that intersect. So going backwards, we can have intersection points as well. And you've got to take the lower of the two numbers instead of the higher. Okay, so going back now, so going this way, again, I'm going to fill out the easier dominoes first. So 23 minus 5 is 18. Okay, you're already starting to see that there are some activities that have the same EST and LST, and they will actually form the critical activities that form the critical path from start to finish. Okay, 18 minus 5 is 13. Okay, now we have this intersection point here, so we can fill out one more. So 23 minus 5 is 18. Yep, just making sure, always make sure you check along the way as well. It's quite easy to make mistakes. So I think at this point though, now we have a branch, so 12 minus 3 is 9, but also 13 minus 4 is also 9. So that actually works out well for us. So that helps us to fill in this domino here, the bottom box of the domino. Now, 18 minus 0, okay, is 18. And we've also got 25 minus 8 is 17. So we put the lower of the two numbers, so we're going to put 17 here. Okay, hope that makes sense. So again, we treat the dummy activity as an activity. It's worth 0. 18 minus 0 is 18. 25 minus 8 is 17. We put the lower of the two numbers. Okay, now 17 minus 6 is 11. Okay, 9 minus 4 is 5. So again, we put the lower of the two numbers. And then 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, so now we've completed the backward scanning, and sorry, that needs to have a 32 there. I forgot to put that in before. Now we've completed the backward scanning. Now let's see if we can identify which activities have the same EST and LST. So clearly, just look for the dominoes that have the basic identical boxes top and bottom. So that's one there. That's one. That's one. That's one there. So clearly these two are not. There's one here as well. Okay. So that's not, and obviously the finish, start and finish are always part of the critical path, of course. I'm just going to use a different color pen here. So I'm going to draw in the critical path now, and then I'll write it down what it is. So we've got that there, okay, through activity E, okay. Now through activity I, all the ones that I've starred, okay, so through activity I, through K, okay, through L, okay, and then finally straight to the finish, and that's our critical path. So therefore, critical path. And we just list the activities. So we have A, E, I, K, L, and H.